UNLV student athletes are taking advantage of playing in the sports capital of the world, using the resources here to elevate their brand.
And one UNLV volleyball player is already getting a kickstart in her career, creating her very own podcast, interviewing coaches and athletes on campus. UNLV senior Livy Setla says that she has been inspired by women's sports broadcasters in Las Vegas to create her own podcast called Feed the Soul Company. Livy started this podcast to dive deeper into Las Vegas and to get to know local broadcasters, athletes, and coaches off of the court. Paloma Villicana joins the show this fall talking about women leadership in Las Vegas and the upcoming volleyball season in September. So stay tuned for Feed the Soul Company, releasing this fall.